Wait, what?
Hello all. Today, my claim is gonna be, that there should be more, gun, in terms of gun ownership, in terms of gun ownership, there should be, more regulations as to, who and can purchase a handgun or a rifle, hunting rifle, any of those sort of weapons. And I believe that that answer relies on the tragic events that happened at Sandy Hook, at Virginia Tech, at Columbine. You know, I believe that a lot of those events could have been avoided if it would have been hard for those people to not been able to purchase a handgun, you know, or a rifle. And I think that America is kind of slacking off in regards to those regulations. I'm going to tell you guys a quote by Eliot Spitzer, former governor of New York. He says, and I quote, "It is true that guns greatly facilitate the murder of another. Sure, it's a person who pulls the trigger, but it's the gun that makes it easy." So what he's trying to say, I think it's pretty obvious, that obviously the human, if he wants to kill someone, he's going to do it eventually, right? It's going to do it no matter what. Or if someone wants to kill themselves, it's going to find a way. But it's going to be quicker with a gun. It's going to be a lot easier. Sometimes a lot of people argue that if someone has suicidal thoughts or is depressed or if they decide to kill themselves either way, they're gonna do it. Actually, studies show that if they need to plan it, they can kind of come to their senses and come to the conclusion that, hey, I don't want to do this. You know, in terms of if there's a gun in the desk and it takes a second to go there and do it, then the statistic is going to be much higher for the people that actually go through with it. And it's all because of the gun. A statistic that I want to throw at you guys is from the Boston Globe, and it says that the majority of gun deaths have been self-inflicted since 1920. That means that all the homicide kills, all the murders, everything put together, it's nothing compared to the suicide rate that has allowed people to take their lives since 1920. So this statistic has been going on for almost 100 years by now. So what makes us think that that's going to ever change? It's not going to change, right? Just to show you guys, this year alone, in 2010, suicides outnumber homicides 19,392 to 11,078. So it's 19 to 11, right? Let's put in theory, let's pretend like there's no guns in the world, right? Like guns don't exist. That means that almost 20,000 people would be alive just in 2010, you know? So I think that's obviously this is hypothetical and something like that would never happen. But I think we can all come to agreement that a lot of those deaths could have been prevented. A lot of those people could still be alive today because they wouldn't have that means to quickly kill themselves. So having this said, it just doesn't become an issue of gun ownership. It also becomes an issue of suicide prevention, you know, of helping out those people that are in need, of giving them time to think about their actions before they do something that, you know, they'll regret and that will hurt their families and others. A perfect example of how gun prevention can help America is it comes from a tragic event that happened in 1996. It was a mass shooting in Australia. Maybe some of you guys have heard of it. But it left 35 people dead at a tourist location. Some of them were American citizens as well. So, I mean, imagine just you guys being here and then hearing that a family member died in Australia at a random shooting. It's horrible. It's tragic. But a good thing that came out of this horrible tragedy is that the Australian Parliament passed a bill to confiscate and destroy 650,000 weapons that year. And as a result, the homicide rate dropped by 59% in 10 years. That's almost 60%. So to put this in perspective, that means that out of 10 people that killed themselves that year, 6 out of 10 are still alive. You know, 6 out of 10 were able to avoid that horrible occurrence. You know, so I think that's amazing. You know, and it stands as one of the lone examples of what gun ownership regarding regulation can do. And I think I feel like a country like America it'd be very hard to pull something like that off here. But let's pretend we did, right? Let's pretend that we passed the same bill that the Australian Parliament did. that number would be much higher in America, just because per capita we have a lot more guns than any other country in the world. But yeah, so that's just a perfect example of if we decided to pass this regulation, this bill, change would be made. You know, obviously there's a lot of minds that conflict over this issue because of, is that ending? Okay. Well, in conclusion, I feel and I believe in gun regulation, a stricter policy, just to make it harder for people that are not in their mental state, you know, they're in their normal mental state to purchase a handgun, and that will result in not only suicide prevention, but also lower homicidal rates and just a better, safer world for everyone. So thank you.
Yeah, the time signal. Sorry, it's 5. You got when I got to 5 minutes. That's when I gave you the time signal. So that's all. Just want to make sure you knew.
Okay.
You know.